But I've run into Kirby at every event. I'm just like, whoa, Banjo.
Banjo and
Kazooie. But never mind.
No,
we're heading
I'm
right to.
disappointed.
Also, I love the Scotland Kirby skin.
Yeah.
Kirby's
really
weapon.
nice.
It's like the Scotland face paint. It's so nice. But Kirby already just running straight into Hollow, and grabbing him, throwing him, and just taking him off stage.
So, I've got to ask, what are we feeling about this matchup? Because obviously, like, we were talking about the Olimar Kirby, but the Banjo Kirby is not something we touched on. Like,
I think we can see this matchup.
Yeah, this looks tough for Kirby.
Yeah, but a lot of it is tough for Kirby.
Yeah,
Kirby
lives a pretty
usually
sad
finds
life.
a way. So we're gonna see a lot of this like grenade blaster until Kirby gets in, and then that's when Kirby's gonna put hands on Hollow. And that's when he's number one to bring those steel stocks very low percentage.
I feel like one of the big disadvantages that Banjo has is ironically his disadvantage. Like, he hasn't got, obviously Wonder Wing is an extremely strong tool. When you got a character like Kirby where once they get in, they've got vastly superior frame data, really excellent combo game, it's going to be hard for Banjo to sort of shake off Kirby. Ooh, and I really, really like the fact that in that situation there, we're seeing that Kirby elected to spit out Banjo rather than take the ability, and I feel like that command grab, you know, as niche as it might be, the fact that it's going to beat out Wonder Wing, I feel like it's going to actually be more valuable than taking this sort of small projectile. And of course, at home, despite what the layout is saying, we've got Kirby on the Kirby, as you would imagine, and Hollow on the Banjo and Kazooie.
There we go, we're swapped over. But yeah, I mean, this is like already, I mean, both players just kind of sort of feeling each other out right now, just both hunting for that kill, but I feel like it's going to be a sort of bit tougher for sort of Kirby trying to get their way in, as we see there.
Maybe like a spot on up
Yeah.
there, but if tilting the wrong way, paying the price for it, Kirby to lose the first stock. Hollow with 120%. A lot of stuff can still kill here. If you maybe get an up throw that will land on the platform, maybe that'll kill. Now he smash.
God,
Good catch.
timing?
Yeah.
Timing
Yeah, yeah.
on that down smash, just had that ready to go.
Yeah.
And I feel like Hollow beat like a little bit earlier than maybe you'd expect as well. A lot of Banjos sort of at that mid to high level, you see the sort of max charge on the up B before you go. So the fact that Kirby was immediately ready for that slightly earlier release on the up B, just insanity.
That's the thing that I love about watching Kirby. It's like you throw him into a situation that will happen just like that, and he will always be ready for it. He will have an answer because he's just trying to. That's the thing with like a character specialist who plays like a character in the lower end of the tier. They're always ready for these situations, and they know what to do.
And that's something that we're probably not going to see. Yeah. As in, that's probably something we're not going to see as much from Hollow necessarily, because even though you've probably played against, you know, your 10 million GSP Kirby on Elite Smash, you've probably not played a Kirby like Kirby. Yeah. Like, you know, one of the strongest representatives of the character in the entire world. Like, don't get it twisted. So it feels as if that situational awareness is going to be sort of less seen from Hollow and more so seen from Kirby, because again, that matchup unfamiliarity, this is one of those matchups where, like, realistically, you're not going to have that much experience in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't really a lot of Kirby's down in the south that I know of.
There's barely any Kirby.
I was gonna
say there's basically none. Like,
I feel as
I
if
mean,
it's-
to be fair, there's more in Europe than anywhere else, and that just tells us that we don't camp enough, to be honest.
Again, I wanna point out some matchup familiarity that I saw right there. Knowing that Hollow went into the grenade and then hit the shield, there's always that temptation to let go of that shield a little bit early, and then because of that slight delay from hitting the grenade, the Wonder Wing hits you afterwards. You're a bit too preemptive. Kirby being, you know, having that next level awareness to know that, okay, I've reacted to this, I will hold shield and I'll be able to run and get a forward smash as a punish. Again, we're seeing that Maze's Banjo experience.
He's being outplayed!
Oh,
Oh,
I'm saying, what a moment! What a beautiful,
moment. Let's get a
We've got a replay.
Yeah, we've got a replay
Oh,
on
well,
screen
we'll
right
come back.
now, and in the meantime,
Literally
Kirby-
nothing happened while the replay was like, okay,
There we go.
There
So I
this
think-
way, Hollow taking the first game.
Alright. I'd like to clear that up. I think the replay was just on our screen. I
Oh,
don't think
right,
you guys
okay.
saw that.
But here we go. I think now I think we're.
Now we are back on camera. So, all right, we are back. Hollow taking game one Interesting, yeah. We saw the Banjo as we'd expect because obviously Olimar kind of a notoriously bad matchup. Kirby does have Kirb0 has more matchup experience, of course, but I think Hollow in general, like, he knows how to counter that character, and he's very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get to a Lost Dog situation. I mean, Kirby is, like, a close quarter combat character anyway. Like, you know, he needs to be up front. He gets all his hits by just smacking you really hard. And so, of course, yeah, Hollow was like, you know, it's Lost Dog. I don't need to really be in. I can just camp away. I've got the tools to do so. No risk at all.
We've seen the run back here to a smaller stage. I do think that is, obviously, Kirby having the counter pick here. I do think that is, you know, a necessary thing in this matchup because again, sort of Kirb0's general game plan is going to be getting in on this onslaught of projectiles and then making the most of these, you know, close quarter situations, these little strings, these tech chase situations that Kirby has just got completely to handle. We can see it already here. The entire of this first 30 seconds has been, Kirb0 has been on Hollow and refusing to let go.
Yeah, I love the matchup awareness too. Kirb0 obviously right up into Hollow's face, holding the grenade, perfectly timed shields, times a spot dodge as the grenade blows up, and then continues the pressure on Hollow's shield. That is just a matchup awareness, you know, knowing how to deal with that item play, which is so integral to beating this character.
What's wild though is that there's that next level awareness coming out from Hollow though, anticipating that spot dodge, because we saw it again there and actually got the back throw from it, so we're already seeing, despite the fact that again, we spoke a little earlier on about how Hollow may not be too familiar with this matchup, we're already seeing those adaptations happening time and time again.
Yeah.
Beautifully jumping over that one to ring, however, could have got better punish. There's a lot more end-like on that move than Kirby might have thought. Instead of getting that dash attack, maybe think he might have killed, could have gone for an up smash instead.
Yeah, it's even little things as well that are kind of universal that Hollow's doing. He's punishing Kirb0 for picking up the items because he's picking it up with F-tilt because it's got the biggest hitbox. He's not like jumping and Z-catching it. And so he's punishing the F-tilt.
Ooh, nicely done.
Because he knows that Kirb0 is going to F-tilt to try and pick it up.
That was so good. That was so good. Again, just next level awareness. That's such a difficult recovery to intercept if you're not ready for it. And the fact that Kirby, and bearing in mind, Kirby's airspeed is god awful. Like, this is one of the slowest characters in the air. And just...
He has to jump 4 times to get there.
Again. That's the thing, though. It's like Kirb0 is having to do this preemptively just to be able to get that. And just... Smart, there's some craziness going on.
He's comboing off of his snare, not working.
Yeah.
Tilted to there, incredible.
I mean, he's literally using Banjo's tools against Banjo, which is the craziest thing.
We've said this though, and yet the percent has sort of racked
exactly.
back up. It's scary against Banjo because you always consider like these zoner characters, you're only getting hit by these sort of nickels and dimes. But when it's, you know, when Banjo gets like a 2-piece off of a grenade explosion, you're suddenly looking, you've taken like 45%, and it's like, hang on, how did this happen?
Yeah.
He's dead, yeah.
Up to killing.
Oh, hit the snake.
Yeah, it's the tried and true. Of course, that up tilt aiming to catch them as they pop out as well, recognizing that Kirb0 was at lower percent there. So we're going to mash out a little bit quicker. And now the onus is on Kirb0 to be able to get the stock before things get too out of hand.
Okay, trying to hit the fair, but the grenade getting in the way. Yeah, that grenade under the platform is a menace. That's gross. It's going to be really difficult for Kirb0 to deal with. It has been. Like, you know an option's bad when you have to up B in neutral? Like, that's his counterplay.
Oh, this should be the punish. Getting a weak dash attack. Once again, I believe could have gone for a better punish.
I wonder if maybe Hollow was hoping for a shield break with that Wonder Wing there, noticing that, you know, Kirby holding shield, shielding a couple of those aerials, but, you know, not quite managing to get it. And now, only 66%. Again, we've seen from Kirby the combo potential that this character has, and we can see it right here, just trying to get, just anticipating the air dodge the wrong way and only getting 11% for his troubles, and it's pretty much the Hollow show right now, I have to say. But this spot dodge, a little bit more chip damage, 40%. It's slowly but surely building up.
Yeah, I mean, this is so scary for Kirby as well, because, of course, Kirby's a light character. You know, any sort of Wonder Wing, anything like this will do it. You know, bury it. The up smash, of course, you know, even at like sort of 90% when buried. I mean, that was, yeah, just going to seal it up. So Hollow going 2-0 up with the Banjo right now.
And that was a mix-up in and of itself, right? The fact that... Yep, that's all good. The fact that we were seeing earlier on the mix-up between, you know, the mash out, getting caught by the up tilt, and then Kirb0 probably mixing up that mash, not mashing as much, and Hollow just having that next level awareness to think, okay, you're probably going to mix up your mash at this point. I'm going to go for the up smash, which is a little bit slower on the draw, but it does catch that grounding opponent. So, again, just levels on levels on levels of gameplay here, and Kirb0, like you said, 2-0 down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets tough now, because I feel like Hollow has just been doing a really good job of just abusing kind of how tough it can be for Kirby to get in. You know, we've been seeing these projectiles being spammed out, these grenades going everywhere, and of course the Wonder Wing just to close the gap anyway using that super armor. And it's showing like kind of how difficult, Kirb0 is actually finding it to get kind of anywhere meaningful.
Bit of impatience there as well, like, because whenever you get in as a character who struggles, and believe me, I can relate, whenever you get in as a character who struggles, you need to make the most of that opening, and so you get a bit antsy, and then you don't get that edge guard that Kirb0 kind of needed. Like, he needed a 0 to death there, because he's just not winning neutral that much.
Dan, do you think there's anything in particular that Kirb0 needs to be doing to sort of get himself back in the set? It's been very, very back and forth, but it feels as if Hollow is sort of like clawing a little bit further ahead each and every time. Is there anything in particular you think he could be doing?
It's once again the issue Chucky raised is I feel that Kirby needs to be making the most of these neutral wins when he does get in, because I've watched a lot of Kirby. When Kirby gets in, Kirby runs you over. But I'm just not seeing enough of that. And also pulling the trigger, obviously you got the down throw to down air by the ledge. However, pulling the trigger on that down air a little too early and not securing that kill. However, taking the first stock and getting the lead for what is possibly like maybe the first time in the set, definitely needs to make the most of this, because now, as you said earlier, never mind.
You were saying?
I was shut up.
You were saying, Dan?
I was going to say the onus was on a Hollow to approach. However, that is completely gone. Who cares? I'm just going to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, when you got the super armored tool just to close the gap for you, it's crazy, because obviously, Kirby is not going to survive that. You know, even at kind of sort of 80, 90, he's just not going to survive that kind of hit. So, of course, Hollow just saying, you know what, I can just let loose, I got a few.
Yeah, I feel like if Kirby has a lead and is around that kill percent, he just has to play patient, is kind of anticipate Wonder Wing above all else, because if he misses, if it hits shield, Kirby gets a really good punish off that, so it does pay a lot to just wait.
Yep. Kirby, yeah, he's doing a good job at like trying to almost dash under that grenade, but it's so difficult, and even when you do it, it kind of limits your timing. And Hollow has caught on, and he's done a very good job at mixing up his disadvantage, Hollow, and that's why Kirby hasn't been able to get and make the most out of his openings, is that Hollow's mixing up when he up Bs, he's mixing up when he uses his jump, sometimes he'll just Wonder Wing to ledge. It can be really difficult to pin him down.
I think the Wonder Wings as well, we've had a couple of really big punishes here, but I feel like Hollow is really mixing up the pacing of how he's using these Wonder Wings. He's mixing it up from this sort of, I'm going to go for what some would consider quite a scrubby option, you know, straight at a disadvantage, I'm just going to Wonder Wing. And then, you know, using it for recoveries as well. And I feel like that's a big thing here, and that's the first one that we have seen so far, and not quite managing to get the egg grenade recovery. But that's the first time that we've seen that down air gimp from Kirb0, and I feel like that's quite a big part in the matchup when you force Banjo to recover low. And I feel like it's another big reason why Hollow has been saving these Wonder Wings. But,
that's what I'm talking about.
But boys, I'm saying, we were talking about making the most of these neutral wins, and Smart, that's 97%.
I was say, I put my finger to my mouth, like, I say, like, hang on 1 minute, because this Kirby's cooking right
this
now.
This is what I was telling you, Joycey. I'm saying, when Kirby goes in, this is what I was wanting to see. I wanted to see those down air gimps come out. I wanted to see them time properly, and I wanted to see Kirby get those 60s, 70s off of these neutral wins, like I do see him do time and time again. This is a Kirby that I was waiting for. Maybe we can see this going into a possible Game 4 and a possible Game 5.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, all eyes are on Kirby, because he is literally a few hits away from being able to seal it up, but we know, obviously, the damage potential of Banjo, and I mean, these hits are starting to connect. The forward air nearly doing the job for him. That could have killed this amount of age as well on account of this light.
You do not have those!
Oh
You
my
do
God.
not have those! What a conversion there!
Tech.
Just
Save!
just to know that that was going to convert as well. I've never seen a Banjo do that in my damn life, and it killed at 80%.
That's frame perfect, by the way. Like, that kind of tech is like the kind of frame perfect stuff. And normally I make fun of that because normally you see that and it's like, oh, I'm going to hit an egg into like an up air. And I did 30. And yeah, it's safe, but I did 30. But like, he's getting 3 kills off it in a matchup like that. That's nuts.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
So close to taking the game, and then Hollow
I
just
know,
went.
it was just all it needed was a dash attack, and there, a back air, an up smash, but to do egg, up tilt to take that
Just
game.
in that moment.
Wow.
Just in that moment. Can we please get Hollow for an interview? Can we please
Yeah,
get Hollow for
I-
an interview?
we
I'm moving
need
the
Hollow.
I'm moving the damn bear. I'm moving the bear because after this next set we're gonna get Hollow.
Oh,
For
this
an
is the
interview.
crouch. Oh, I love
There
the
we
little
go.
teabag there. That was so nice.
I like that.
I love seeing characters struggle.
Yeah, we saw the mix up there
Yeah.
as well. Again, on that timing, you can mix it up, and the up tilt, up smash mix up does depend on the mash, and Hollow going 2 for 2 at that point here. And just look at that.
So nice. It's so nice.
Just the
So clean.
just the perfect amount of distance to pop up. I don't feel like Kirb0 was remotely ready. I don't think anybody on this planet was ready. And chat, if you're saying to me right now that you were ready for that, you're damn liars. Nobody
He
was
didn't-
ready
actually,
for
Why
that.
is it when
He
there's a
didn't
hop on
use,
commentary,
like-
people
that was the
argue?
thing.
He didn't use that version of Brigo Blaster like all set. He just used the regular one. He didn't use the one that lets you walk like almost the entire set, and then he just
Literally
pulls that out of
revealed
nowhere. I didn't
The
think we'd
chop
see
card
it.
at the end.
I got jump scared by that tech.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,